Hey guys, and welcome to my October bullet journal setup. As you can see, if you've been around and seen any of my other videos, this is a completely new journal. I do have plans for another bullet journal video coming up explaining why I got this when I'd only just transferred into Traveler's Notebooks. But yeah, so this is actually a bullet journal designed for it. And this is just one I got really cheap from Flying Tiger. I actually got it back in Ireland when I was home. It was €5. I've no idea how much it costs in pounds. I'd assume maybe 4, maybe. We'll see. But yeah, so I picked this up when I was in Ireland and I set up very briefly September, so that's why there wasn't a setup for that, was I wasn't around. But yeah, so I thought I'd do a quick flip through of everything I've put into this so far before showing you the setup for October. So let's get into it then. First of all, I just have a post-it note of things for my 30 before 30 list, which I did have an awful lot more on this, and I wrote it down somewhere and I can't find it. So when I think of them now, I'm putting them there so I can put it properly into a spread at some point. I've done something a little bit different for the index, so I've got planning separated from collections. You just see I have my old bullet journal here, and my old one I did my index just as one list with color coding, so I had like a little key here, but that just didn't work for me. I mean, you can see I stopped using it, really. I wasn't properly using the index. So here I just have my planning, so basically when the months start, and then collections kept separate. And we'll see how that goes. I probably won't use it again because I tend to just know roughly where in the journal they are. But anyway, so the first thing I did was my future log, and I don't tend to get a full year out of bullet journals, but I want to have the full year in it so I can plan ahead. As you can see, I've not actually even written out the last couple of months, but just to know when I have things coming. I've only started filling this out, so I've put bits of, like, you know, the dates where I think I'm going home for Christmas. I've put in a couple of birthdays throughout September, just the odd ones. I need to actually go through and write down all the ones, all the big birthdays that I need to remember. So yeah, that's just my future log, just nice, neat calendar with events at the side and then the birthdays at the bottom. And then I have my TV tracker, so these are the shows I have been watching lately. Yeah, I'm not going to go into details about them. There's like things like, you know, I'm probably not going to watch the last 2 seasons of this, but... And I have my 19 before 2019, although at the moment it's 11 before 2019. And some of these I actually can tick off because I've done some of them. I've digitized my logo. I've made postcards. I've made 2 zines, so we're getting there on that one. So yeah, I'm making good progress. I just need to actually think of 8 more. And this is just some... Now, underneath on this page is just some kind of shop product ideas, video ideas, all sorts of things, zine ideas. So I just want to keep that a bit under wraps at the moment until I actually start working on them. And then we get into the September setup. So this is the same theme I had set up in my Traveler's Notebook because I was planning on using that for September. And when that didn't work, I just did the same travel setup here because I was traveling. So I just did this watercolor globe, which I actually absolutely love. I love it so much. And I tried to do a very different kind of setup for September. So I did the actual bullet journal, like list monthly style, but I wanted to have a bit of space on either side. So on this side, I've got all of the events and things I had going on, and then on this side is my work schedule, so I just write in each of the rota, which is also why I have these lines. So on the work side, the lines separate the week Sunday through Saturday, because that's my work schedule. I get my rota based Sunday through Saturday, but I, in everyday life, tend to think of Monday as the first day of the week, so I've divided this side up separately. And this is sort of an idea I got from Cindy. on Cindy on YouTube, Llama Loves Lettering, if I can think of the name. She does this, that she divides out what she has to do for work, what she has to do for church, and what she has to do for the rest. So I kind of like that, having a master to-do list for the month that's kind of compartmentalized. I cannot think properly. Yeah, so there's bits of things that I needed to do for work. I had a lot of things that I needed to do, which I can actually take that off as well, because I've started doing that. Oh, and that. Still working on that. I've done that, waiting for a reply. And I've done that. Ah, 2 days left of the month and I have one thing left to do, make a commission dream catcher. But yeah, so I want to divide things up based on things I had to do for work. I've titled this Polis, that's my shop, and my Instagram is Polos Polis. If you're at all interested, links are all in the description box below. So this is things I wanted to make for the shop. So I wanted to finish a zine because I had zine club, so I wanted that one done. I wanted to design some postcards so I could get them ordered. Spiders webs, make the webs, that's these. Let's put a plain sheet behind them. These are my Halloween decorations for the shop. So I wanted to obviously get them done in September, so they're ready for going up in October for Halloween. Things like that. And then life is just everyday stuff, and archery, I needed to finish off getting ready for an archery assessment to become a coach. Next was an attempt at planning out my trip, and what was going to be a sketch of Cologne Cathedral, which I never actually got to, so I'm just leaving it as perspective drawing. I might finish it at some point, but it seems a bit of a waste to do it now. But yeah, just planning out details of things I wanted to do and the times and the costs, and then planning out where I was going, like what hostel I was staying at, what my flight and train details were, and all that kind of stuff. I didn't really plan that trip out very much, so I didn't really follow that. This was planning out a new kind of layout for my weeklies, because I found before my weeklies were taking up an awful lot of space. Well, they were taking up 2 full days, but I didn't really find I needed that much space because all of the columns were a lot thinner, because I had to fit like 4 here, and then I had 3 here and a gap along the end. And I just found I didn't need that much space, because most days it was just this. I just marked out what I was working on. So I'm still doing the time bars down the side. I got the 24 hours. I'm marking out mostly just in green when I'm in work. But even this, I found I wasn't referring much to, because I had it all, if I can find it, I had it all here. This is where I was referring to know how much I'd worked. So I'm thinking I might skip these this month and see how it goes without them. Just some zine planning that I did in the airport, another week that I didn't really use, and then a quick look at October. So I won't show you that for too much, because you're going to see the setup of October right now.
Peter out like a grave, growing cold in the hull of a bell, weighing gold. Hand-me-downs like gold paint, all dried up. Mother's words so absurd, so right on. Crawl away from the car, crawl away from the car. More and sing apple chords. A jaded kind of poor. Crawl away from the car. Crawl away from the car. Everything's secondhand, stitched and old. Never waste, never want.
Okay, so when I decided to do my setup for October, I really wanted to do a bit of a play on my original October spread from last year, because this was the first month of bullet journaling I ever did. Excuse me. Yeah, so I hadn't bullet journaled at all before this, and I wanted to do a kind of Halloweeny, well, not Halloweeny, an autumnal August spread with the pumpkin and the tree and the leaves. So I thought I would do that now in my current styles. That's what I went for. I kind of changed it up and did a bit more of a actual plausible scene. Like, I know this pumpkin is ridiculously large and all, but I didn't want to do just the pumpkin floating in midair, even though this was kind of a trend of my old one, that all of the cover pages had something circular in the middle. I'm not necessarily following that here, as you could see with my September one where the name was up at the top. Like that. So I do have the circle as the basis, but I put September up here, so I don't really feel stuck to the circle anymore. So I decided to get rid of it altogether. So that's what I went for with that. And you can see I carried on the theme or the style of this. I just didn't do the lines down either side, which I actually think looks a lot neater without it. And did a bit of autumnal decoration again. I think this has been filled in more since I actually filmed setup of this, because I have been using it, because I've gotten bits of my rota, which will, knowing me, probably all change, but yeah. And that is opposed to, is that in? It's a bit out of frame. There we go. So this is the new month compared to the old month, my first ever monthly setup. And I had my monthly goals down here, whereas again, this time I've tried to do this. I've not fully filled it out yet, because it just feels like I have less I need to do this month, really. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see, that might get probably filled up a bit more as I go. And I have, that's about all I did in here that I stuck with. The only other thing for October from this one that I find interesting was my original weeklies. Yeah, no, not doing that again. That was really weird. And I am thinking a bit about going back to these kinds of dailies rather than doing weeklies, because you will see I haven't done any weekly setups for this, so I've not done that kind of thing again for October. So I've got a space here for writing out my Inktober preps, or Inktober prompts, because I will be attempting to do Inktober for the first time this year. I don't in general work in ink. I do like the line art in ink, but then I do watercolor. So I don't really know what I'm going to do yet, with whether I'll do just line work and use it as a month to work on my actual drawing, like I was going to say penmanship, but that just makes me think of writing, but like my actual use of pens and stuff, because you can see this is the kind of thing I do. So all of the outlines is in ink, but then it's painted. So I don't know whether I will just do black ink, or whether I'll get some coloured inks, or maybe do some washes, or just do it all with like line drawings. I don't know. We'll see. But I've got space for prompts to do when I decide what list of prompts I want to follow. I'm going to do a couple of Inktober videos, I think. So we'll see. I'm going to go more into detail when I pick what prompts I want, so keep an eye out for that. And then Preptober, this is going to be my to-do list, because I'm thinking of, I was originally planning on doing NaNoWriMo, I'm not sure now if I will, mostly because I'll be doing Inktober, Preptober, and Vlogtober. And that's just a lot of October challenges. So we'll see. I might drop Preptober and then not do NaNoWriMo, because NaNoWriMo again is in November, which I was kind of hoping I'd be using for making more stock for Christmas, because I'm hoping to get in a couple of Christmas markets. But we'll see. So I have space for Preptober if I decide to do Preptober. If not, I can repurpose this use for Vlogtober. Repurpose this page for Vlogtober. And that's pretty much my setup. I've got some stuff penciled in here to try and plan out roughly how much I'm going to get paid for next month. I can kind of guess based on my contract and my scheduled hours roughly how much I get paid. I never seem to get it bang on. So it's just a rough guide to kind of give me a heads up of how much I'll earn next month. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm just going to start doing dailies. So no weeklies this month. I'm going to see how that goes. And you may also have noticed I've given up on habit trackers. I've finally given up on them because I really just never used them, ever, at all. I always started at the beginning of the month and then I stopped. So I have given up on that now. And we'll see how October goes. And like I said, keep an eye out for another bullet journal video, because I will be doing a flip through of my first bullet journal, which I still haven't done. And I'm just going to be doing a bit of a talking about, you know, how my bullet journal's been working for me and how I found using the bound book and then using Traveler's Notebook setup, and just generally keep an eye out for some extra planning videos coming up. And so that's it for October's setup. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you in another video. Bye!